If you're trying to figure out if you should be self taught or go to art school or do both, then you need to go ahead and finish watching this video. And while you're at it, subscribe. Let's get to it. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, my name is Zipporah. I am a visual artist. I work in multiple, and I mean multiple mediums, but my favorite top three are acrylic, watercolor, and graphite. Today we're going to talk about self-taught versus going to art school, or in other terms, self-taught versus taught. So self-taught is when you are just learning by yourself. You're just drawing every day. You don't have anyone telling you that you're doing something wrong or whatnot. You're just drawing. You're just drawing in your sketchbook. You're just looking up things and just drawing and looking up things and then just creating projects and whatnot. Or you're just learning as you're going. And that is perfectly okay. But going to school for art or just learning from a teacher, you are doing those things. And this is also why I believe self-taught and learning from a teacher or a professor or going to school is kind of honestly the same thing. It's just you get more guidance when you are learning from somebody. You're doing the same work. You're honestly, if anything, they're making you do more work. And that's why, honestly, why I went to art school, because I knew I needed that discipline. And I knew that I wasn't learning everything that I wanted to learn, if that makes sense. So a little bit quick background information. We're going to hope this is quick. I've been drawing majority of my life. Not even majority, all my life I've been drawing. It wasn't until middle school that I really started taking myself serious and actually really realizing that I enjoy art. Like I enjoy art and I enjoy drawing. That's when I really realized I wanted to learn to draw. So I started just practicing. I asked for a sketchbook, got a sketchbook, and I just started drawing in my sketchbook all the time. I was constantly drawing in the sketchbook. That just started like to the point where I was drawing in classes and whatnot until literally like my 8th grade. I want to say it was 8th grade year. I think it was 7th. It was 7th to 8th grade year. We're going to say 7th, 8th, tomato, whatever. Your girl was still young. I started drawing so much that one of my teachers saw me one day and she was looking at my drawing. She was like, "Hey, this is actually pretty good." And then she asked me, she says, can you do a portrait for me? Because I also did a lot of portraits. That's how I started really learning to draw. I started like just copying and drawing people that I saw. And it was this big old like sketchbook I got, and I was doing like these huge portraits. And sometimes I would bring it to school and show it off. Like I was like, y'all see what I did? Y'all see what I did? And that's how my teacher saw me. So this is also to show you need to always show your work. You be humble, but show your work. Yeah. But my teacher asked for a portrait. And I did her portrait and she paid me some money. She paid me a little money. It wasn't a lot of money, y'all. It really wasn't. But it was enough for me during that time. And then after that, she showed herself to the other teachers. You know what the other teachers did? They all commissioned me. All the teachers was commissioned a little on me. And I thought I was really yeah. I don't feel like bleeping that out on YouTube, but I thought I was that girl. For real. Like I really thought I was that girl. And I was doing portraits for the teachers. And so one day, the principal called me to the office, y'all. And mind you, this is back in the day where, like, we used to get in trouble for selling candy. Like, and some kids were doing illegal candy selling operations. I got into the principal's office and she pulled me. She told me to sit down. And then she said, "I heard you're doing portraits for the teachers." And I was scared. I was shaking in my boots. And she looked at me and then she whipped out a portrait and she said, "Can you draw me a portrait too?" And honestly, it made me so happy and it made such an impact on my life because honestly, those teachers and that principal, if they didn't like commission me to do portraits, I probably never really would have understood how important art was to me. And that motivated me so much. So ever since then, your girl really thought I was that girl, and I was just self taught that whole time. I took classes in school, art classes, but it was the typical art classes all the students take and whatnot. Now, the teachers did recognize that I had more talent than a lot of the other students. They'll call us the unicorns, like the art unicorns. That's what the art teachers in high school would do to like they students where they know, oh, you actually know how to draw a little bit. And it boosts my head up a little bit and stuff. And I would even like draw during lunch. I would go up there to the art rooms during lunch and then with my other little art friends, and then we will socialize and stuff like that. But I was still doing everything on myself. It wasn't until I switched schools and it was my senior year, and they put me in AP art. And in AP art, I didn't learn anything really. I did, but I didn't learn anything. They didn't teach us how to draw. They just told us we had the whole year to make pieces for the big test at the end, which is when you make a portfolio and you send it in digitally to no, you send it physically. You send in some of your best pieces physically and then some of them digitally into like the people who be judging. I don't remember where they sent it off to, but they sent it to people that be judging. And I got a good score. Like the score was a 1 through 5, and I got a 4 by the end of everything to where I was able to get college credit off of that and whatnot. But I remember I thought I was just the best artist ever, but that class started to humble me just right off there because it was other good art students in that class. And that was the start of me having an art community. And that's honestly one of the reasons why I went to art school, because I liked how in AP class I had a little art community, because I was so used to just doing art on my own and really liking art and never really talking to nobody else about it unless like I'm in an art class. And that art class, it was other individuals like me who really were good at drawing, and we were good at it. And all of us were on different levels and we had different styles. And all it did was encourage all of us to get better. And from then I realized this is what I wanted to do. I wanted this type of environment. And art school was going to give that to me. But I had not everyone was willing to, be like, art girl, you going to school for art? And y'all know art school is expensive. So this is another disclaimer. You do not have to go to art school, especially if you cannot afford it. It is okay. You can still be an artist and you can still be successful if you do not go to art school. I cannot emphasize that enough. But the one thing that you need to do, and this is something I tell people and I tell my students and I tell myself because I still need to know this, you need to practice and you need to study your craft. If you are not going to art school, you have different options. You can try to find someone in your community, different artists and whatnot, and see and reach out to them and see if they're looking for any assistance or volunteers. Or you can volunteer at your different art museums. There's a lot of times there's volunteer opportunities on the websites. Look into it. You want to put yourself into some type of art community that you can. You don't got a car, you can't go out and do stuff, you're too young, or you just don't got the money. That's okay. That's what the internet is for. If you can watch me on YouTube right now, that means you have some type of way on the internet. And you can start an art community or join an art community on the internet. And I do that to this day. It's good. You can send your work into group chats and then you get critiques and then you help other artists and other people who's learning. It doesn't matter if you started drawing yesterday. Get yourself into some type of art community, whether that is physically or digitally or both. Honestly, try to do both. Do what you can at the moment that what you're able to, because everybody's circumstances is different. I completely understand that. I've been through it all, y'all. Like, your girl is still going through it, but I've really been through it all. I understand. One, art supplies are expensive. Art school is expensive. Everything's expensive. And you can only do so much. So I'm telling you guys what I've learned. YouTube University. I used to watch YouTube so heavily with different artists. There's so many artists on here that you can watch, and they legit teach you how to draw and paint. Your girl is going to be teaching y'all in the future too. So yeah, can, if you want to learn from me, learn on me. If you want to learn from me, you can. So like, be on the lookout for that. But yeah, try to learn from somebody. Self taught to me is it's only so much you can learn from yourself. And that's with anything. You can only learn so much because one, you're not going to force yourself to do things you don't want to do half the time. That's another reason why I went to school. There was things I just wasn't going to do. And if school didn't make me do it, I would not have learned to. Of course, I had access to learn these things. And I saw there were certain things that artists were doing, but I didn't think it was important. I didn't understand the importance until I went to school and I had professors show me the importance of certain stuff and forcing me to do certain stuff because if your girl didn't do it, she'll fail the class. And if I fail the class, I'm wasting my money that I already don't have. And I'm not going to be going to school for something and wasting my money. We don't get our money's worth. Another thing that our school gave me that just being self-taught didn't, it gave me resources. Never in my life before our school I was doing Adobe and I learned how to do Adobe, or I even had the idea to really do Adobe. Really, I was like, I don't need Adobe. It wasn't until I was in art school and they gave us like we got free accounts to do Adobe, and I realized how much helpful it is. You can learn so much. You can be any type of artist, but Adobe, you got to learn something on Adobe. You got to learn how to do at least something. You don't got to use that all the time, but you need to learn at least the basics because it actually helps. It does. You can edit a lot of stuff on there. Do yourself a favor. If you can't go to school, go to YouTube University. Learn how to work Adobe at least on some type of form. Another thing I didn't do when I was self-taught, I didn't practice as much. I was not doing like gesture drawings or like study anatomy. It was just so much I wasn't doing because I didn't know it was things I needed to know how to do. And it's only so much you can look up on your own with because it's only you only look up what you know. Now, when you look up stuff, other things get suggested. So that's a good thing. That's also kind of how they push me a little bit. But I would kind of ignore those videos. I'm not gonna hold y'all. Like back in the day, like I'll see something, I'm like, hands. Who finna draw hands? Yeah, I used to hate drawing hands. I ain't gonna hold you. I used to hate. I still look kind of hate drawing hands. I actually like drawing hands more now. But you do your girl. You gonna still catch your girl trying to hide hands in her artwork. We ain't gonna talk about it. That's why I do like this because I forced myself to draw hands, but I was able to hide it a little bit. We ain't gonna talk about that. But yeah, school made me do the things I did not want to do, but it made me such a better artist. I look at my work then versus now, and I realize how much I improved. And once again, you can still improve on your own, but you got to put that work in. And that's regardless. Even when you go to art school, you got to put a lot of work in. Honestly, you got to put in so much work. They got you doing so much stuff you didn't even realize you was going to do. Yeah, they had me doing stuff I swear in a million years I wasn't going to be able to do. But I'm glad I did. And once again, with the resources, I was able to do every medium. I got to do woodworking, metalworking, ceramics, pottery, paper making. I got to do so much in art school, things I would have never even had the access to if I didn't go. This is not, I'm not really, I don't know if I'm trying to convince y'all or not, because that stuff is expensive, but it did a lot for me. I see people on here all the time when they talk about self-taught versus art school, and of course we all know you do not need art school to make it as an artist. I can't say that enough, but it really does help y'all. Like it helped me so much. Like I'm only emphasizing this because to me it was worth it, and then it put me in the art community. You have to network. Networking is so important. That's something I learned in school. I used to not do networking. I hated networking, but it helped me so much. It gave me opportunities that I've never would have even gotten if I didn't network. Self-taught or not taught, especially if you are self-taught, you need to do more networking than anybody else in the room because you haven't been in a space to the space in the first place. So you got to force yourself into spaces. Sometimes networking, once again, slide in somebody's DMs. Sometimes they respond, sometimes they do. And when they do, sometimes it be good, sometimes it doesn't. But you gotta put yourself out there. That's something I'm still learning too, but I've definitely gotten way better at it, and I encourage y'all to do that. I tell people all the time, if you decide not to go to art school, that's perfectly cool, but please put that work in, y'all. Like, actually put the work in. Either you need to be using YouTube or in university, like I said, or you need to find some online course, something. You need to be learning from some type of artist. Once again, you can learn from me in the future because your girl's gonna be teaching some stuff. So yeah, yeah, be on the lookout for that. But yeah, another thing I didn't do when I was self-taught, I did not do sketches. I hated doing sketches for final works. Now your girl, you see this right here? This is the sketch of this painting. I transfer my sketches on onto Canvas. I can show you guys how to do that in the future, and I will. Yeah. And also while we're at it, subscribe, hit that subscribe button, or leave something in the comments, any of your own ideas or your own journey about being self-taught, or just your, like, even if you went to art school, your pros and your cons. If you've been there, let other people in the comments know your experiences, because everybody's experience is different. But what I'm telling y'all still need to put that work in. But yeah, I did sketches. So currently, this is my favorite sketch right now. Y'all, when I say y'all would not have caught me doing sketches back in the day, I was doing like stick figures for my thumbnail sketches. Like I was out here doing stick figures, knowing doggone right. I was stressing my art teachers out. I was not doing no type of sketching. This is what I've made right like recently, and I will be doing a painting video in the future for this because your girl is in love with the sketch. You wanna know why I started sketching? Because I had a professor. I had a professor in college who forced me to do sketches. He was forcing me to do, it was my illustration teacher. It was my illustration professor. He was forcing us, especially me, to do sketches because I hated doing sketches. And he had us doing so many sketches. He had us do thumbnails, and those thumbnails need to look like actual sketches. And then he needed a sketch of the sketch, and then he needed a final sketch. Yeah, I was so sick of sketches by the time I was done with his class. But when I tell y'all that's all I do now, and it's funny because it's a lot of stuff in college I did not fully take advantage, or I understood how important it was. And now I do all those things I learned now. It's hilarious. Shout out to my drawing teacher, Natalie. She forced us to do so much stuff that either I didn't like doing or I didn't think I would need, and I definitely do now. But yeah, so once again, if you can't get into art school or if you can't afford art school, you got to do the things you don't want to do at times. If you want to get better, you got to experiment. Once again, I didn't like acrylic painting. Did not like doing acrylics. Now that's one of my main favorite things I love doing is acrylic paintings. Hated acrylic. Got forced to do acrylic in college. Now your girl be doing acrylic all the time now. Amazing how that works. But yeah, I feel like art school gets so much hate now. I get it. It's expensive. Once I can't emphasize enough. I can't emphasize enough. That mug is expensive. That's why I'm understanding. I'm trying to get y'all free game. If you can't afford school, use YouTube. But you gotta watch them YouTube videos sometimes y'all don't want to watch. And it's the boring stuff. I don't care. Watch them. And you better follow along with those videos. You need to put yourself in some discipline. Another reason why I went to school, I knew school was going to give me the discipline I did not have. I had no discipline, but I knew one day I wanted to take myself serious as an artist, and I told myself I'm not going to do it right now because I ain't got no discipline. So I knew I had to go to school to keep me either on a schedule, force me to do the stuff I need to do, and get me up in there. It taught me discipline. It really did. I do not regret going to school, no matter how expensive it was. I don't regret it. It gave me opportunities that I never would have gotten that I've gotten now. I've gotten internships to different local art stuff. Um, I've met so many different other people, connections I have to this day now. Oh my gosh, I feel like it was beyond worth it for me. I see videos all the time now of people just hating on art school, and it's kind of sad because I get it, but like it still was helpful, y'all. Like it really is, and I feel like y'all just be downplaying it sometimes. Like it gave me so much resources that I would have never had. I would have never had, especially as a black woman, and and certain things you don't really, I'm not I'm not exposed to a lot of art creatives. So like, it's not look it's kind of frowned upon, in the black community to art. You're not gonna make no money from that. So nobody is pushing me to do stuff. Nobody's pushing me to get better at drawing. And nobody was showing me nothing. Like, so I had to go learn on my own. And in school taught me so much stuff I would never have learned. I would have known that there was people out here really making art a career. You can make art a career. That's what I'm working on now, trying to really go and make art a full career. Like, I have a job. Like, it's still, I'm a creative arts coordinator and whatnot, but it's still not exactly fully what I want. And what I want is to create my own work and give it to you guys and stuff. But once again, I had to force myself out of comfortability, because my comfort place is y'all would not be seeing me right now. Yeah, I have bad anxiety. Like, I trip over my words. I hate hearing my voice. I don't know about y'all. I don't think my voice is annoying. I don't like hearing it. But I need to give you guys information, and I have to put my face behind the camera and show you guys me, because to me, I don't even want to show y'all my work if y'all don't even see a face to the work. But I realized if I want to make art something serious in my life, I have to let y'all in, and I have to be vulnerable with that. I'm going to mess up. Hopefully you guys will like this video. Go ahead and like it right now or subscribe. Once again, you can go in the comments and give me any type of feedback or whatnot. But hopefully also you'll just, watch my future videos too and get on this journey with me with my whole art career and whatnot, and me just learning how to be more and more of a better artist, because that's my goal, to be a better artist than I was yesterday. And my goal for you guys is to teach you guys to be a better artist than you were yesterday. And I can't even expect you guys to be consistent. I can't tell y'all what to do if I'm not doing what I'm teaching y'all. So I gotta put the work in too. But yeah, self-taught and going to art school, both of them are very valuable things, and they're pretty much the same stuff. It's just art school pushes you more with those, that it gives you that discipline, it forces you to do that discipline, and then self-taught, you're like, it's your decision to have that discipline. That's really all it is. um I recommend if you can afford it, or if you have the means, I do recommend you go to school. Honestly, that's how I personally feel. My own opinion. That is my own opinion. Don't be eating me up in them comments. That's just my personal opinion. And I don't even think, like, you don't even got to go to the highest, best art school in the world. You can just get a mentor, or you can literally you can just do online art class, or just a physical art class. You can go to a figure drawing session or something. You just got to learn from somebody. Please try to learn from somebody besides yourself. You can only teach yourself so much. Because it's like you're your own yes man. You don't want a yes man all the time. A yes man is just going to keep telling you yes. You don't learn anything from that. You don't. So if you're going to be self-taught, and I mean this with everything in me, if you want to get better, and if you decide to be self-taught and you want to get better, I'm emphasizing this, please do the research and put in the work. You have to put in the work. Yeah, self-taught artists, to me, have to work 10 times harder, because you guys got to find out the information I got to learn this in school. You got to fight harder for the resources at times. So you got to put in a lot of work to do it. You want to learn how to draw? Start with the basics. And I mean shapes. I want to see you drawing a spear or like a circle or a triangle. Start with the basics. And I really mean that. Go to an artist. It can be me or it can be somebody else. Because I'm a whole supporter of other artists. I don't support some type of artists on YouTube and watch them teach you how to draw and actually take that information and do it. So yes, in my opinion, no, I don't think you need art school. I just think it helps. So take what you want with the information, and take what you want with the information I gave you from this whole entire video. Thank you guys for watching. And please, once again, subscribe or go watch my other videos too. You can look at this whole art studio I got going on, did a whole makeover. Or if you want to learn how to do some of the other stuff I've been talking about, or you want to learn how to find your art style, go look at my other videos. They should be right here. They should be right here. They should be up here. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video again. And I hope to see you in the future. And your girl is out.